Welcome everybody to the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card. So today we're looking at what thing can be really clarified for you now, what can be brought to light. So it's particularly focusing in on, one of those sort of situations that you might have in your life where you just need a piece of information or you need to kind of put the final piece of the jigsaw together, or something's been a bit mysterious and it's kind of hard to get a grip on how to get the right focus on it. And the sort of energy I'm hoping to evoke with Spirit's help in this is, they say that sometimes when you go to bed and you're thinking about a problem, that you can wake up with the answer, that kind of aha energy. And we are going to use some dream imagery later because of that, as part of this. But that's what we're trying to look at, sort of something in your life that needs some clarification. You may or may not be aware of it. It might be that when you sort of go into the reading, you start thinking, oh yeah, actually, I had been wondering about that. Or it may be something that's about to come up and you're not aware that the issue comes up, but when it does, you go, okay, I remember the reading and that's what it was telling me. But that's the energy that we're going for. And kind of what inspired it was that I have a range of decks, and these are three of them, that I feel have very clear art imagery. They kind of, they're not photorealism or anything like that. They're not cartoonish, but they're sort of somewhere in between the two. So they're very, the artwork is very clear, very direct. And I thought I'll just choose three decks that I think fall into that category. And that may help you, might be the Major Arcana card that I asked Spirit to sort of show me for each. Or it might just be the imagery, or it might be a familiarity with the deck that helps you choose your reading or readings if you want to go to more than one, which is perfectly fine. But I just felt I wanted that energy. I wanted the tarot decks to have that energy, that we're looking for that, the very direct speaking, because I find that's what these decks do. They speak very directly, and I think it has something to do with the direct art. So that's why I thought they'd be good for a clarity type of reading where we're kind of having an aha understanding moment. Whether or not the aha moment is entirely welcome, it might be sort of something that's a bit challenging. We'll see as we go. So with that said, I think all that we really need to look at is the choice of pile. So for pile number one, we have the Nightshade Tarot with the Lovers card. For pile number two, we have the Ouroboros Tarot with the Temperance card. And for pile number three, we have the Windmill Flag Tarot with the Devil. So as I say, you might be drawn to one. The imagery might, the deck might, you might always go to pile three. Whatever works for you is fine. But when you know what reading or readings you want to go to, the timestamps are in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome pile one to your reading. So you came to the Nightshade Tarot with the Lovers card. So this could be about romance or some other relationship. It probably is about relationship choices in some way. The Lovers is not necessarily, even though it's often portrayed that way as it is here, it's not always a romantic card. It can be any type of relationship. But I would say there's some clarity coming to one or more relationships, or your choices and what you really want from a relationship, or something like that associated with this. So that's a pretty clear sort of message about the area that we're looking at. But what I did want to do is I was going to use the Akashic Truth Oracle that has the 6 areas in life to kind of narrow down a bit about where is the clarity coming. So it's going to be about relationship, and some of the cards in the sort of areas that the Akashic Truth Oracle talks about are about relationships. So we might just find a complete synergy, and it might tell us what type of relationship energy we're looking at. Otherwise, if it comes up as business or something like that, it will be business relationships, so we'll just sort of use that, and we'll get the first piece of advice. But I feel like before I do that, I do want to say the way this is portrayed, I feel like there's something in this, there's something about the message or the clarity that comes from knowing where whatever this relationship issue is, it's almost a thing apart. And it has its own place. Like I feel like nature is all around it. It's surrounding it. It's almost protecting it. So I feel there's sort of something here that protects you in terms of relationship energy, or is protecting an important relationship of some sort. And having the clarity to understand that kind of, the world is almost supporting this in some way. So it may well be that it's a relationship that people question. But I feel like it's a thing apart for whatever that means to you. But that's what that card makes me think. So what kind of area in life is this relationship energy and relationship choice important? Health and wellness. Okay. So this is about a relationship or how you relate, the types of relationships you have, whatever it might be, how you relate to others, or a very specific love or partnership or something like that. But it's interesting, health and wellness, because we have the kind of protective energy, and you were drawn to this particular tarot, which is the Nightshade Tarot, and it's very natural. There's a lot of green sort of foliage all through this deck, as you will see. So I think there is something about healthy relationships, healthy relationship choices, or a relationship. It could even be a key healer that you come across. So let's see what the general advice is from the Akashic Truth Oracle around where the clarity is needed. Bearing in mind it's got something to do with one or more connections in your life or how you relate and how that links to your health and wellness. So we have follow your passion. If there's something that excites and motivates you, it's a message from the Akashic record that it can lead to your abundance. Don't silence it. So yeah, I feel like this is about a key relationship. And as I say, it doesn't have to be a love relationship, though we'll see what else we get with the tarot. But I feel like it has to do with something that is a thing apart. It could be a passion, a creative project, a social or political or spiritual issue. It could be a love relationship. It could be a friendship. But there's something here where you are protected by nature here, and you're meant to kind of like get almost the verdant sort of garden. I feel like there's a sanctuary around this for some reason. There's a sanctuary energy for it. So let's get tarot. We're going to ask a bit more about where has the lack of clarity been, because if we are actually looking for clarity now, there's a question or something confusing or something you don't understand that has to do with relationship choices, following your passions in whatever way the passion is, and in a way that's healthy for you. Let's put all that together. Let's look at where there's been a lack of clarity on that. Then we're going to have a look at what aha moment around this is available to you. And then what do you need to consider further beyond that aha moment? So firstly, just a little bit more about why is clarity needed here. Seven of Cups reversed. Ace of Cups. Oh, I think this is romantic. Queen of Cups. Very emotional anyway. 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness, it's romantic. Yeah. 6 of Swords reversed. Okay. This is all about the most cherished relationship. Like if you are not, it's interesting, health and wellness. So this is important to your well-being, to get that emotional clarity, that emotional connection that is a long-lasting one, that comes from the heart and is long-lasting and probably has sort of family or other kind of connections, that like the long-term relationship. That's something I think that it could well be that either there is a new love coming in, and so it may not have happened yet. This might be a little bit predictive, or you might have just met someone. And it's like while you're busy trying to be really realistic rather than getting carried away with the passion and whatever, because you're not sure yet with the 6 of Swords, what direction is this going in? And you're feeling a bit agitated by the connection. I think this is saying, like, go for it. I think there is something really protected in this situation. Now, does that mean that everything is smooth sailing and and there's sunshine and puppies about all of it instantly? Not necessarily, but this looks like it goes the full gamut and you're emotionally ready for that. I think that health and wellness is that you're ready for this. You're ready to let love in your life, and it as a cherished sort of thing. And I do think it's romantic. Like there could be for some of you, it could be sort of some sort of like family thing, like reconnecting with your family, or it could be some sort of friendship group, and it's like finding your ride or die friends. I mean, that is possible, but this feels pretty romantic, I've got to say. And it feels like it's something new. But I feel like, as I say, I just felt like the way that like nature seemed to be protecting this energy. I think it's a very big aha. This could be the one. So I think like you're either just started a relationship and it could be the one, or you're about to meet that, and it's because you've got yourself emotionally ready. But like when it first happens, you're like, oh, am I just dreaming, and like where is this going? But that's that's normal. I think like the clarity is that that's normal. You wondering about whether you're being realistic because it seems sort of idyllic is not an indication that it isn't. It's just the normal thing when you first start. And you need time apart. I think that's the other thing. I think that if there are other energies or other people around making you second guess it, it's like give a kind of a sanctuary to this connection. So what aha moment is available around this? Like if that's the kind of energy that we're looking at. What's the aha moment for you about this relationship, this connection? Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Three of Cups. Three of... Okay. Oh, okay. All right. This is why it needs protection. But it's really interesting. This is probably the aha moment around this. Is this person started as a friend. So this is the kind of love that comes along that develops out of a friendship, and suddenly you realize there's something so much more there. And it's like the choice. Like it had a gentle start to it. But it might be why you're thinking, oh, is it returned? Is it reciprocated? So it started as a friendship. It may be for some of you that and it's really interesting, got 333 here. It may be that for some of you, the way to protect this is you have to separate from your friendship group. So there could be jealousy or something like that. For others, you will have friends that support this. And they see this as you've done the healing that you needed from some prior relationship. So I think for many of you, you might have almost sworn off love, to be honest. So you might be carrying that kind of pain from before. But this looks good. But it kind of had to start as a friendship for that reason. And it needs to be sort of protected. But there is for some of you, it just depends because this is a collective reading. Some will have friends that are really supporting this and celebrating it because they see that you've healed and you're ready, and that's why we have the health and well-being. For others, for the health and well-being of this connection, you need to separate out from the friendship group because there could be some jealousy or, like you don't live your love life by committee. You need a place for this to be. But it started out as a friendship, so it's kind of like realizing there's an aha moment where it's like, oh my goodness, this isn't just a friendship. It's kind of lovely energy, I have to say. So what will you need to consider further? Once you've realised there's friends more than a friend, what do you need to consider further? Page of Swords reversed. Justice reversed. Page of Pentacles. Okay. I think for most of you have to be careful about the other people around this. This is why it's a protected thing. Because I think that, and it's why it's saying you cannot do this by committee. You have to just be with the person and work that through. You're ready for that. Because this is like, communication's not going to be clear. It's going to be a little bit hard to know exactly what this can be. And there's something a bit unfair or there's something to watch out for. It's possible for some of you that, and it's a very specific thing I'm going to say, it's possible for some of you the person might be divorced and have children. It's not necessarily going to stop it at all. I think that the relationship will still happen, but you may have to think about how to bridge that if that's the case. Because the 2 pages here could be children and like that kind of issue that might, so for some of you, this might be also why it needs a sanctuary. And there could be a separation connected with this person being available. Or you may be divorced and you may have children. And it's like, how do I incorporate that? So there's something potentially around that. Otherwise, there's something around other people, I feel, getting involved and like having the wrong viewpoint or telling you it's difficult or whatever. And that none of that is balanced. None of that is right. So this is why I just very strongly had this sense that you need to be on your own in this situation. You need to kind of work on that level. And that's the healthier way to do it as well. Okay, so given that I was saying that like that aha energy that I was talking about is often something that comes with dreams. And you can like say, I've got this problem and I go to sleep and then I wake up with the answer. We're just going to ask for a couple of dream energies that can tell you a bit more about this, other things that you need to know that need to be part of that aha moment. And these might be challenges or might explain some of the challenge that you've still got to consider, or they could be further blessings around it. So let's see what we get. Rabbit, swift, trickster, fertility, prosperity, love, lust, luck. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. That's interesting with this as well. And desert, retreat, growth, trials, temptation, transformation. Okay, so firstly, remember I said like going from this to like the whole box and dice, like the sort of family, building a new family. And then this, there may be something that's complicated in this for you or for your partner or together about whether or not to have children. Because we've got fertility, prosperity, love, lust, luck. I think that might be something that you have to consider. Or as I say, considering the fertility of either a prior relationship of yours or theirs is involved in this. Also with trickster energy, I do think that others might have an opinion, but it's not the opinion to listen to. Also, you may at first think, is this love or lust? I think it's both. But, that's sort of something to work through. The reason I think it's both, love comes first here. Secondly, you were friends to start with. This is what this looks like. You were friends to start with anyway. So it's not just lust that you meet someone at a bar. This is something that's developed over a period of time. And then that kind of comes up. But I also feel like if I'm getting into love, lust, like 3 L's and then the 3. So let me just have a look at that. So love comes from the friendship energy. Lust comes from, the kind of emotional, joyful, be at a party or something. And luck comes from the separation from whatever the pain was and the healing from whatever the pain was. So there's something about the rule of 3 with this for you. I don't know what it exactly means. Things come in 3s, messages come in 3s. There's something about 3 around this as well that you can bear in mind. We also have desert, retreat. Yeah, you need to find a place for this where growth can occur because there are trials, temptations. There could be someone else who's competing for this person's attention. But like you two are much more focused on each other, but it still potentially could be there. Transformation, this is a transformative thing. It's transforming it from, I think, a friendship into something more. Understanding the implications of that. Understanding that it kind of had to start with the friendship so that it would be, you could trust that it was love because it looks as though you're a bit gun shy of relationships for some reason. So I think that's the kind of energy that we're talking about. So it's understanding, and it is understanding this needs its own place. It can't be done by committee. Okay. So then let's have a look at the astrology around, and let's just get a couple of planetary pairings to see the energy around this aha moment of realizing this could be the one. It's like I say, this is basically what it's saying. This could be the one. Chiron and Neptune. Yeah, there's healing. There is healing associated with this. Either you or the person or both of you. There's some past issues, past relationships, or kind of, as I say, I feel like you were kind of like, I don't know about relationships, like you'd almost sworn off them, and then it comes along. But it has to come along as a friendship. But that allows, a healing of what your dream was, to reawaken the concept that you could have that dream. You could go from the Ace of Cups to the Ten of Cups. And Saturn and Uranus. Okay, wow. Breaking through old patterns. And this is probably why it's sort of like, is this realistic? I don't know where I'm going because Uranian energy is so volatile. Saturn, though, it's like it's breaking through the past. This is not the past, but I do think there could have been a divorce. For some of you, there's been a divorce, either you or your partner. There's been a breaking of some old structure that allows this to happen, and it's a mutually healing thing. That's why it's about health and well-being. It's like this relationship heals you or your partner or both of you, or heals both of you in the sense of being able to move forward into relationship again. So it's really nice. Let's get you a couple of familiar spirits, some like animal energy to support you in understanding this. Along with that, the rabbit, the rabbit, follow the white rabbit kind of energy. We have owl, wisdom. Yeah, so you have the wisdom. This is why we've got the Queen of Cups. You're ready for this. In fact, I almost feel, because the owls turn out, but I almost feel like the Queen of Cups there is a bit like Minerva, like bringing the emotional wisdom. So also being able to look around and see all of this and understand all the implications of it and protect everything around this, because, the concept of the owl being able to look in all directions, I think. Owl is there to help you with that. And beaver, creating from scratch. Yeah, so because this started off like a friendship or like something else, but it's going to build to something. And if one or either of you has sort of had a fairly difficult breakup, it is you sort of starting on first principles again. And it's going from the ace to the 10, remember? So in terms of cups, that's a very good thing. Okay, let's also see what the plant world wants to say to you. Let's get our plant energy to help with the aha. Wisteria, surrender and trust. Let things unfold in divine timing. Yeah, you can trust this. This is a good connection. It's different to things in the past. It's different to relationships in the past. But I do think find your place separate to everyone else. Don't, as I say, don't live your love life by committee with this one. Like you get confused at best. You get misled at worst. Okay. So let's finish off with another tarot deck, which is sort of like what's underneath this aha moment, going back again to the dream sort of thing, like almost a sort of subconscious level. What else do you need to know that will help you get the clarity you need around this? And I'm going to use this tarot deck and I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 5. And then I'm going to just deal them out and talk about for the collective what each of those would mean in the context of this message. So pause if you need to, because I'm just about to deal them out. So if you chose 1, Page of Cups reversed. If you chose 2, Disconnect reversed. Okay. If you chose 3, 2 of Cups reversed. Okay. If you chose 4, 4 of Cups. And if you chose 5, 9 of Cups reversed. Okay. A lot of cup energy there. This is very much about relationship. It's been cups all over the place. If you chose number 1, this, as I say, this is doubling down on this relationship does not start romantically. It starts more like a friendship. So that's part of the aha. That's part of the surprise. You don't expect this. Might happen in a workplace too, but I think it's more likely a friendship. But, you can have friendships at work. And at first you wouldn't have thought of this as a love relationship, but that's what you're going to get clarity on. If you chose pile number 2, this is about reconnecting with love. It's very much a message to you that if you had thought it was not realistic to think about that anymore, this is realistic. This is not about disconnecting. It's quite the opposite. If you chose number 3, you or the other person is still getting over something. So bear that in mind. You don't have to rush into this. As long as you protect it to allow it to grow in its most healthy way, you can heal a lot of that energy either in yourself or in them. So it's not a sprint, allow it to develop. If you chose number 4 and you got the 4 of Cups, this is meant to take you out of an emotional rut. You have got yourself in an emotional rut. So this is a blessing, and it's meant to enliven you and take you away from discontent. And if you picked 5, you really had given up on the dream of love. But this is the aha moment. It's there. It's going to happen. Or as long as you let it happen, it's going to happen. That is meant for you. It's not, the dream is not gone. This is you've done a lot of healing, a lot of work, and it's ready to come through for you. So I think it's lovely. I think it's a wonderful kind of clarity for you. So I hope that resonates. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile number 2, to your reading. So you came to the Temperance card in the Ouroboros Tarot. And I kind of think it's important it's the Ouroboros Tarot, though we'll see as it plays out in the areas in life. But temperance is a number of things. It certainly is getting things into balance and having a moderate and temperate approach to things. It's a point in the major arcana where there's a maturity and use of skills, magical, spiritual, and practical. So it's a very evolved sort of energy. So there is some sort of clarity coming up about the evolution of your ability to sort of balance things, use your skills wisely, alchemize, transform, all of that kind of thing. But the fact that it's the Ouroboros Tarot too, to me, that the Ouroboros itself is the concept of the karmic cycle, of us evolving and transforming in our spiritual journey. So I do think there is a particularly strong spiritual overlay on this. So even if we're going to use the Akashic Truth Oracle and we're going to look at areas of life, and we might get something very pragmatic like finances, for instance. But whatever it is, there's a profoundly spiritual energy and profoundly alchemical and transformative energy around this. And I think it's coming into the clarity that you are ready and you can master that. You can do the transformation, the alchemizing, the manifestation, whatever it is. Because a number of tarot readers will say, and I think it's a really good theory, that the magician earlier in the tarot is like the one with all the gifts, the magical ability, magical potential. The temperance further on is more like that realized. So moving from the magician to the alchemist, or from the adept level to the high magician, that kind of energy. So I think there's something about that. But as I say, to work out where this clarity is, I thought it would be useful to use the Akashic Truth Oracle. And then, of course, with this too, the Akashic record is your kind of karmic cycle and so forth. But I use this deck because it has different areas of life and then it has some advice around it. So this will give us a bit of an idea about where that energy is going to bring the aha moment for you, the clarity that you're looking for. So what area of life are we talking about? Career and business. Yeah, I had a funny feeling it was going to be that, or finances or something like that. So this is about you using your gifts, your capacity to manifest, your balance, your, as I say, potentially temperate sort of energy and behavior to progress something or solve a problem or bring something to light in the area of your career or business. So let's just get an overarching piece of advice to give us a bit of an idea about what this aha moment, this clarity is about. Find the lesson. Something has happened and it stopped you in your tracks. In reality, it was simply teaching you where you needed to grow. There is no such thing as failure to pick yourself up and learn from it and keep going. So you may have hit a reversal, a block or something like that. This is meant to show you that you're actually more than capable of getting this into balance and getting things moving again. But temperance, as I say, because it is the sort of like the realized magician, there is a sense of a lesson and understanding and a seeing how things fit in. And there might be something karmic. There might have been an aha moment of like, okay, now I understand why my life path is the way it is and what I needed to learn so that I could actually use my abilities appropriately, that kind of thing. So let's see with tarot. We're going to ask a little bit more about where is the lack of clarity so that we know what this is about. We're then going to ask what aha moment is available to you right now, and then we're going to ask what do you need to consider further after you've had that aha moment. And you might have just had it too. You might go, actually, I'm already up to that. So then you'll be looking at what you need to consider further. It just depends on who's come to the reading. But a little bit more about where is there a lesson around career and business where you can understand your own ability to bring things into balance, to manifest what you need, to pour oil on troubled waters, whatever it might be that's necessary. But this is definitely in your career or business part of your life. The Hierophant reversed, the Emperor, oh wow, 10 of Cups reversed, 7 of Cups, Judgment reversed. All right. So there's a couple of things around this. Firstly, this in your area of career and business, you're probably either in a very high-powered sort of, big corporate or like, very power-oriented environment, or you have a position of power, or it could be a bit of both. But you are different to the energy that you're in. You are a bit of an iconoclast. So that's one of the things. So if you got blocked, it might be that people thought, oh, well, you're not the cutout of what we have further up the line or whatever. And it's an environment that is not a happy environment. So I think that you're in one, partly your capacity to bring balance, and as I say, pour oil on troubled waters, has to do with the fact that this organisation, this career, this industry, whatever it is not happy itself. If you've been looking for work and not finding it, you haven't been able to find the fit because there's something going on in there. What this is asking you to think about is it the right sort of organisation to be in, or the right industry to be in, or is there another way of doing it? Are you really following your calling? And if you aren't getting offers, is it because it's not the realistic thing to be doing at the moment? You might have outgrown a particular industry. You might have outgrown a particular type of job. Or it just might be that is a really conflict-based, high competitive, kind of toxic environment. So there's something about understanding that. This block is actually meant to be a gift so that you can recalibrate back to what your calling is, because there's something about this that doesn't quite fit for you. So what's the aha moment? What aha moment is available to you, pile 2? Death reversed, Hermit, 5 of Cups, 6 of Wands. Okay. I think, there's in Dante's Inferno, when Dante goes down, or Dante's character, I'm not sure what his name is, goes down through the circles of hell, and he gets to the 9th circle of hell. The only way out of hell is to go through the mouth of the devil. And it has this very famous sort of saying of, it's effectively the only way out is through. I think that's the aha moment here. I think that whether it's that you've been blocked in, getting an offer, or whether it's that you've been blocked in a promotion, or whether you're just feeling you're in a very toxic situation, the issue for you is that you've been avoiding seeing that, and you've been avoiding the lesson, and yet you're more than capable of taking this on and dealing with it. It's saying retreat from this. This path that you're on at the moment is only going to bring disappointment. Once you have actually accepted the decision that says, I'm going to retreat from this, then you move towards victory, because you have what you need to be really successful. But there is something either about this organization or this industry or the way that you're doing. Like, you may have a set of skills. Like, say, I'll just use an example. Say you're trying to be a lawyer in a legal environment. Your skills might be very good around law, but they might be even better around, I don't know, conflict mediation. Working for the UN might be better, or they might be really great. I mean, great lawyers are great at telling a story. Like, so the narrative and the kind of like communication energy might be more what you're actually meant to do. I just feel as though there's a block operating because you have the skills to do what you do, but it's not quite the right fit for your calling. So once you go back within and find that and just decide you're going to do that, rather than keeping on kind of like pushing at this block, that's when you're going to get recognized. That's what the aha is that once you do that, once you let go of where you don't feel you have a choice, or you allow yourself to make the choice to step back away from it, that's when you start to move forward with confidence and success. So what do you need to consider further? Ace of Cups, 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, I think there's something, whether it's just a different organisation doing the same sort of thing and you'll just have a better career path, or whether it's using your skills in a different way. You are really close to what you're aiming for, but this environment is not the right one. You do need to make sure that you are happy emotionally. That will trigger, it's like the Holy Grail, it will trigger the inner alchemist, the inner manifestation. But you need to think about other options, because there's another option that will take you across the finish line, and it will connect your heart. It's like the block is to stop you going across the wrong finish line. This is what this is saying to you. Okay, so we did talk about how in dream, we can often go to sleep, dream, and then wake up with the answer. So we're just going to ask, with dream imagery and dream symbolism, what else we can learn about this aha moment that might help you work out exactly how to navigate this. So firstly we have, it's interesting, this came up for one of the other ones, desert, retreat, growth, trials, temptation, transformation. You've got to retreat from something to be able to move forward. And it may feel like going through a desert. Just like, as I said, with Dante's Inferno, going through the devil's mouth probably doesn't sound like a particularly pleasant thing to do, but it is the way that takes you through to, the sunshine in the distance, that kind of thing. And the other part of the dream symbolism that could help your aha moment is ocean. So it's like desert and ocean. Flow, potential, emotion, spirituality, feminine energy. Okay, yeah, it's saying it like, and this is very the spirituality. I think this is saying that there is some block in your career because you've got these amazing skills and you're ready to do all sorts of things and cross the finish line and really, really be successful, but you're doing it in the wrong industry or the wrong organization or the wrong environment because it's not connected to your heart. So if you can retreat, go back into your spiritual balance and then go forward to what you would really love to do, many more options are there and you will get across the finish line. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes a strategic retreat is all you really need to do so that you can then move forward in a different direction. Let's see some astrology energy for you around this. Venus and Chiron. Yeah, your heart needs to be healed. This is about business. It's about career. And right from the get-go, we're talking about a lot of powerful energy and a lot of powerful ability, but it's not a happy environment. Your heart needs to be healed so that you can actually move forward. Your heart is being protected. Like, this is a protection. This barrier is a protection for you. And Venus and Pluto, so that your heart can transform. Your heart is being healed so it can transform and you can follow what you really want to follow. This is the alchemist. The alchemist understands that the heart is just as important as the mind and all of that kind of thing. It's getting things into balance. Okay, let's get you a couple of animal spirits to help you navigate this aha moment. Zebra. Independent thought, yeah. You are too independent. You don't fit in with this environment. You're too clever for them, probably, I would say. And you need that. You need to know that you can be free and independent in what you say. And B, extract the honey from life. And you're meant to enjoy life and to find your right community. Bees are very community oriented, but you're just not in the right community at the moment. The Ten of Cups reversed. There's no happy honey in that communication, I've got to say. You've got to sort of find it somewhere else where your independence is valued and seen as giving to the collective rather than always running opposite what it's asking for. Okay, let's also get a botanical piece of advice for you, a flower or a plant of some sort. Mugwort, visions and dreams, messages come through intuition. Yeah, because this is a spiritual thing. There is something very spiritual about you. You're too spiritual for the environment that you're in, I'd say. And let those dreams and visions come in. Like, maybe meditate that you're in the desert, meditate that you're in the ocean. Like, the desert is almost like where you are at the moment that you have to get through to get to the ocean, which is teeming with life and love and opportunity. Okay. So if that's your overall message of clarity, of just understanding you're in the wrong place at the wrong time at the moment, but there are other opportunities for you and you have skills and so forth you can use in a different way and ones that are closer to your heart and you have the ability to do that, then let's just finish up with another deck that is more like, I feel like, really underneath all of that, like underneath all the dream stuff, underneath all the aha moment, that's really kind of the baseline to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 5 cards. If you choose a number between 1 and 5, that will be your part of the collective and how that kind of synthesizes this information. If you need to pause to choose your number, do so as I'm about to deal them out. So for number 1, we have Judgment reversed again. Yeah, okay. For number 2, we have 9 of Swords reversed. For number 3, we have Ace of Cups. For number 4, 10 of Pentacles reversed. For number 5, Knight of Cups. Okay, so if you chose number 1, the really key thing to contemplate and understand is that you're not doing what your calling is at the moment. And because of that, you're not likely to get the call for the new job or the opportunity and that kind of thing. That's why it's really important to go back within and get things in balance and decide what you want in your life, because the block is there to stop you going down the wrong path, almost karmically. If you chose number 2, don't worry so much. This is actually going to work itself out. Once you make the decision that you're going to start looking for things that you would enjoy more, it will work itself out, and relatively quickly, I would say. Most of the worry that you've had is trying to fit in somewhere that's not the right thing for you. If you chose number 3, your heart knows. Just go to your heart, your holy grail. That's going to be an incredibly good navigator for you. If you chose number 4, I wouldn't be surprised that you were in this situation because of maybe family expectations. Or it could be that what is creating the blocks at the moment and the unhappiness is, in fact, you're in an industry or a business that is kind of under a bit of threat. Like like the types of jobs are under threat from AI, for instance, or it's a financial services job and the economy is unstable like that. So it's either that you're in an industry or type of organization that is has reached its peak, I think, and so it's time to move on anyway. Or there's some family tradition that you need to break from to be who you truly are. If you chose number 5, there's an offer coming. And it'll come really quickly. And it's almost as though this offer might come out of left field, and that's why the aha moment is there. It might be the aha moment comes to you by an offer that says, come and do this, and it's quite different, and that's when you realise, oh, okay, that's what all this was about. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 3, to this reading. Or to your reading. You're brave, I think, when you come to a reading where the aha moment might sort of be around energies that the tarot archetype of the devil represents, because it's one of the more challenging major arcana in many ways. I mean, it can just be things like big organisations, big career issues and so forth. So if we get from the Akashic Truth Oracle where we're going to narrow down where this clarity is coming from, career and business and that kind of thing, then it may be just that we're talking about. But otherwise, the devil tends to be where we feel trapped, bound by our own desires, by other people's desires, by and they don't have to be just sensual or whatever, just what people want, what you want, by consumerism, by shadow energy, shadow work, all of those sort of things. But of course, where there's a big issue to deal with, there's a big reward. So when we're dealing with that kind of powerful energy, what I would think is that the clarity here must be connected to where you can release yourself, free yourself in some way. So it might be a big issue that you're seeking clarity on, but it's actually a big reward would be what I would think. Now, as I said, we're going, and it's interesting that you came to the windmill flag deck as well too, because I would say of this deck, it's the one that is closest to the shadow to me, because of there's a lot of dark colouring in this deck. So I think there could be shadow stuff and freedom and clarity to free yourself from that kind of thing. But let's see the area. So the Akashic Truth Oracle has different areas in life. So that will give us a bit of an idea about where freedom from bondage, understanding of where we kind of trap ourselves sometimes, where the big issues or the shadow issues are that you're dealing with, and you will get this clarity. What type of area are we talking about? Personal and spiritual growth. Wow. Okay. So this is definitely, as I say, big issue, but with big reward. I would say this is about shadow work, to be honest. I would think that this is some messages from your shadow work and so forth, and how you can get clarity and really get the big outcome from that. But let's just get a piece of advice to help guide us with this from the Akashic Truth Oracle before we use the tarot. Professional assistance. It may be time to seek wise counsel. This could be in any area of life, from legal or financial advice to more personal needs such as counselling or therapy. So this may be suggesting that part of the aha moment is to understand that there are others who can help you. So it may be sort of saying, have you thought about talking to a therapist, a counsellor, some sort of professional advice, if it's some sort of issue around finances or whatever, to get financial advice, whatever it might be. If it's spiritual, it could be, to sort of connect with spiritual teachers, spiritual knowledge bases, things like that. But it looks as though part of the aha moment for this is to know it, so you shouldn't just try and do this on your own. It doesn't necessarily mean you can't do it on your own, but it would mean that maybe it's more efficient or easy if you get some form of assistance from people who understand the terrain of whatever it is. So let's find a little bit more about what the terrain is. We're going to ask a little bit more about why clarity is needed with the tarot. We're then going to ask what aha moment is available to you right now, and then also what needs to be looked at in more detail. So why is clarity needed around this? Why might you even need, some professional assistance potentially around dealing with, this shadow work or this sense of bondage or it could be something very practical. So it's saying personal and spiritual growth, so it would have to have some connection to how you feel about yourself. So let's see. The Lovers reverse, the Queen of Cups reverse, the Queen of Wands reverse. Wow. The Ten of Wands, the Three. Okay, all right. So one immediate thing here, even though, we didn't have love and relationships, is that for some of you, this could be needing some professional advice around the breakup of a relationship. So it could be like legal advice you need or it could be counseling or something like that. With the Lovers reverse and the Three of Swords, there is some sort of separation, either that or you need to separate from something. It could be some sort of relationship or connection in any aspect of your life, really, that is having a deleterious effect on your emotional equilibrium and how you feel about yourself and putting enormous amounts of weight on you. So it's either you are not feeling good about yourself and you're feeling burdened after a very, very hard breakup, whether it's a love relationship breakup or leaving a workplace or something like that, or whether it's that you've taken on the burden of this from others in some way and it is a burden and you need to work out how to separate out from it because it's not good. This does look like it's something that would be helpful to get some advice, like legal, personal, financial, whatever it is, so that you can do it, because at its best, there's a lot of demand on you. At its worst, there could even be people that are making this very difficult for you. It could be a very difficult workplace and it's affecting your personal and spiritual growth because it's like a lot of really negative energy, and there could be narcissistic people around with that kind of energy as well. So it's connected to other people and either the need to separate from them or having separated from something and dealing with the fallout. That's what this is about, and it's a lot of shadow stuff, and it like get some help. Professional is probably the best, but it doesn't have to be. It could be just a really good friend if there's someone that you really trust. So let's see, what's the aha moment that's available to you right now? Six of Pentacles, the Six of Swords reversed, the Moon, the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, something has to end. Like the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. Like something is ending. You have to break free of something, or you have broken free of something. And it's really murky. It's saying like, this is murky. It gets into really deep stuff. So I think like the main aha moment is that you can get support and help when you are feeling lost. Because this is what you're going through at the moment, whatever this situation is not atypical. Like when people go through this situation, what you're going through is well known, and there are people who could help you with this. That's the main thing to know. You don't have to do this alone. So what do you need to consider further? If you go, okay, I'm going to get the support that I need, what do you need to consider further to really work with this aha moment? Two of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Ace of Cups. Okay. I think one of the things that you should, particularly because this is around personal and spiritual growth, one of the things that professional assistance or advice, or just, a really good friend who you can really trust, and you have to make sure they are that way with some of this energy. It has to be genuinely, someone you can trust, can help you with, is to know when you would be ready to make the decision to reconnect your heart to something, whether it's, to a love relationship, to friendship, to a new work environment, whatever it is, when you would be ready to do that, to have the clarity to know that. It's like, it just feels like having someone to talk to about this helps you kind of bring your own clarity to bear, because it's almost like whoever is around that's part of this or is talking at you, they're like talking at you, I think. You need to be the one who gets to be able to articulate this most. And like, that's where the professional assistants, like to some degree, when we go and see a therapist or something, we're paying for them to just spend an hour talking about us, and listening to us. And I think that's kind of what is important here. So I think that for you to be able to make good choices, you need to know what it would mean to be in a healthier situation than whatever this is. And I feel like you need to know that you're feeling ready and equipped to do that. And that's when you're fully free of the bondage or the energy of the Devil card there. Okay, this is a bit heavy. I'm sorry. Let's see. We were going to look at dream imagery, because I said, in the introduction that sometimes the aha moment is like we go to sleep and we wake up with the answer. So we're just going to see what dream imagery can tell you about this. Chicken, luck, fertility, health, prosperity, new beginnings. So I think this is saying that there is a better outcome that can come out of this, and maybe to focus on that is important. And focus on your well-being. Like, think of this about preparing the groundwork for new beginnings. And beach, growth, cleansing, gaining awareness, seeking relaxation, and something that helps you relax, get the awareness, chill, get away from the situation. A neutral party. That's why I think it's more like something professional than it is something that is like with a friendship, unless, as I say, there's a friend you can absolutely trust or who is so separate to all of this that they're absolutely neutral. Okay, let's see what astrology can give you as well. Chiron on Neptune. Yeah, there's healing, spiritual healing, healing within, freeing yourself from the shadow energy. But this is a situation that's occurred and it really does need help. You do need kind of the support to be able to get through this. And Jupiter and Pluto. There is luck and transformation. There will be luck, expansion, better energy that comes through transformation, but you need to heal at a kind of spiritual level first. There's something really painful has occurred by the looks of things. So it's, and if that isn't the case, you've come to the wrong reading, I would say, because this is pretty clear. But getting that support, getting that healing, then you are going to be able to kind of manifest the change that you want in your life and bring good things in. So the end game is actually very, very good. Let's get you a couple of animal spirits to support you. Turtle, wise stability. Yeah, it's wise. It's wise to find the stability. This is the thing, it's a neutral point. It's the person who's in the middle. It's not someone who's got a vested interest. I think that's why this is saying. It's not really that you don't have the capacity to do this yourself. It's just right now, it's so much and it's so painful that to get that clarity, to get that's what you need to find. You need to find that neutral position. And Walrus, paternalistic autonomy. So yeah, you need to free yourself from something as well. But oddly enough, it's interesting, paternalistic autonomy. It might also be sort of saying, like, by going into the professional side of things, it kind of gives a freedom and again, that kind of neutral thing that just looks at the situation and what the best outcome would be. So it depends. If like what's going on here is an issue with a man in one form or another, or paternalistic or patriarchal kind of energies, then it's like finding the stability and the balance so that you can free yourself from that. But if it's not, it may be that there is a kind of almost paternalistic care that would be helpful for you at the moment. Okay, let's also get you a plant or a flower or something like that, some sort of energy as well to help with the clarity. Snowdrop, hope and new beginnings, even the coldest winter must end. Yeah, look, it's going to get better and you're going to end up like on the beach in the nice summer energy. But like that, to me, there's a healing energy that needs to occur first so that the new beginning can come through. This is about preparing a more fertile ground for a new beginning, coming out of something quite painful and difficult. Okay, so to conclude, what I want to do is I want to like divide this out into the collective so that you know a particular message for your part of the collective. So I'm going to use another deck that for me is really about kind of almost subconscious energy, another tarot deck, but it's one that I think picks that up really well. So almost like the drumbeat underneath all of this. And I'd ask you to choose a number between 1 and 5 so that will correspond to your synthesizing message at the end, because I'm going to deal out 5 cards. And if you need to pause now because I'm about to start to deal. So if you chose number 1, we have the Devil reversed. Well, that's good. It's a very clear indication you're going to get out of this. If you chose number 2, Temperance reversed. If you chose number 3, Seven of Wands. Move that up so you can see it. If you chose number 4, Two of Pentacles. And if you chose number 5, Four of Wands reversed. Okay. If you chose number 1, whatever this shadow energy is, it's a confirmation that you're going to escape the shadow energy. So, and I think it goes back like getting the sort of support, the assistance that you need. I think that clears it, and it clears it for good. You're not going to have a repeat of this. If you chose number 2, I think the reason that it's saying get some professional help is at the moment you're not in a emotionally balanced enough state to be able to navigate this on your own. You need some help in bringing the balance in. It's not your fault, but it's been difficult. If you chose number 3, this just takes a little bit of courage to do it, and that's really you're going to find that this is actually, you've grown because of it, and you're able to take on more, and you're able to love more or trust more or do whatever it is that you're coming out of. Just a bit of courage, and you're really going to find that this has grown you in some way. If you chose number 4, then you're going to have options once you do this. You're not seeing the options at the moment, but once you've done the kind of clearing of the energy, got the support, had the neutral party to talk to, you'll be able to see what your choices are. If you chose number 5, this is involved more than one person, or it's a breakup of a family or a team or something like that. There's a lot of fallout, and this is why it's saying get the professional assistance, because it's almost like the people closest to you are either involved in it as well, so can't be neutral, or they're dealing with their own stuff. So your normal sort of fallback friendships, groups or whatever are not the way to go through this at the moment. So it is a little bit heavy, this one, but there is the promise that it's going to get a lot better once you've sort of sorted through all of this. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading, or at least that it was helpful. I'm not sure how enjoyable that particular reading would have been. But either way, if you did like it, please like and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.